is your local grocer or visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama. Coming up, special guests and features, updates from around campus, a first word from Coach Freeze,
Pavia.
look around Auburn athletics,
I think.
and a check of the day's action across college football. Featuring voice of the Tigers Andy Burcham, Jason Campbell, Will Herring, and Brad Law. Now, the host of the Tiger Tailgate Show, Paul Ellen.
This could be a milestone day at Jordan-Hare. The Auburn Tigers are the 13th winningest college football team in Division I. With a fourth consecutive win, Auburn can eclipse the 800 victory mark today. Hello again, everyone. War Eagle, and welcome to another Saturday of Auburn Tiger football. We're live outside the east side of Jordan-Hare Stadium, neath the sun-kissed sky. With 6 straight wins since October 1st, the New Mexico State Aggies have already clinched a spot in the Conference USA Championship game. Coach Jerry Kill has fashioned an offense built around quarterback Diego Pavia, who leads his team in rushing while also passing for 2,200 yards. Pavia, though, his status in doubt for today's game. The Auburn defense has come alive. Last week's win at Arkansas marked the first time in 7 years the Tigers have held 3 straight SEC opponents to 15 points or fewer. At the same time, the offense has gelled, with Peyton Thorne throwing at a 67% completion mark and the offense running the ball for 767 yards. Auburn has started fast in all 3 games, running up a first quarter advantage of 49-6. That is something Hugh Freeze wants to see continued against the upset-minded Aggies. Now it's time for the first word from the Auburn locker room. Here's Andy Burcham with Coach Hugh Freeze.
With a 3-game win streak, your ball club is now bowl eligible. In your first season at Auburn, what does it mean for this program and for this team specifically to be bowl eligible?
Yeah, first, it's something that you think is, I firmly believe, and you want your seniors to experience that. The ones who have no eligibility left, they don't have a decision to make. This is it for them, and you want them to have that as in their resume of their time at Auburn, and so that's the first thing is getting to reward not only the whole team but especially the seniors, and thing where they can see their position coach, how they're going to get coached, and the environment at practice, and I think that's always a help in recruiting.
Listen for Andy's complete conversation with Coach Freeze 30 minutes prior to kickoff, presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. Paul Ellen here with Andy Burcham, Will Herring, Jason Campbell, and guys, Andy, starting with you, looking back to Arkansas and really these last 3 games. Now, admittedly, the schedule got a little easier, but that's 3 straight SEC games, 2 of those games on the road, and the Tiger defense, starting on that side of the ball, just about invincible.
You take a look at last week, and Auburn takes the opening drive and scores on the touchdown run by Peyton Thorne. Auburn's defense gets a 3-and-out. Then Keontae Scott goes 74 yards for a punt return for a touchdown. Another 3-and-out, and then the Auburn offense again to the end zone. And it's 21-0 really in the blink of an eye. 21-0 as Auburn has touched the ball
6.5 minutes.
3 times. That's exactly what you wanted out of that game. But I think I know I was a little surprised that game started that way. I had trouble getting a read on last week's game. I mean, Arkansas had won the week before after changing coordinators. They had won at Florida for the first time in school history. Boy, you couldn't tell that, though, Jason. By the way, Auburn played that game last week, start to finish, in all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, I'm with you, Andy. Last week kind of shocked me a little bit, not by the win, but just by how big we won by, just from the fact that it was a 48-10 game. You think you're playing against an Arkansas team, like you said, that just come off a big win in Florida, and you would think they would come out with, like their hair on fire. They would come out with so much energy being back at home because they haven't played at home in a long time. And Auburn came out with the team with their hair on fire.
Yes.
They came out immediately setting the tempo in that game, taking that first drive down the field, like you said, and then hitting it with a punt return. But to me, though, good winning teams won on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what you got to see last week from that defense and what Jalen McLeod did with 4 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble.
Yeah, it was so encouraging. This Arkansas team, while their record doesn't look great, you look at the individual matchups and how they played some really good teams down to the wire. I mean, so a lot of one-score losses.
Every one of their games were like that.
And so, as a team and inside that locker room, you just, as a coaching staff, you just want to continue to have your guys believe. But we came out, guys, and we put our foot on their throat from the first snap to the second drive to the first punt return. And, I mean, we didn't look back. And that is what championship caliber football looks like.
Auburn has allowed 37 points in 3 games, Will. You look at one major factor. Jalen McLeod is now healthy from that bad ankle.
Yep.
Keontae Scott's back. Austin Key's back. About as healthy as you're going to see a team through 10 games of the season, and that's been a big factor in this too.
Absolutely. And pass rushing is so paramount in this league, whether it's, in college football or the NFL.
And you got a freshman who's kind of grown up out there too.
You do. And if you can get after that quarterback, and he's got that, Jason, you can attest to this, but you got that clock in your head just ticking. Even when you're not getting pressured, you're antsy, your throws are off. But what we're able to do from a pass rushing standpoint these last few weeks has been just very encouraging.
Well, and let me take that one step further. You're not only getting a good pass rush, but you're getting the pass rush and pressure by the front 4. And early this season, that wasn't the case. Now, Ron Roberts can bring extra guys in, but those front 4 are now starting to put pressure on that quarterback, and that's huge for these last 2 games of the regular season.
And that front 4, the reason they're able to put pressure on the quarterbacks is because that back 7, you look at our secondary, those guys that have not given up a lot of space to opposing receivers, which gives your guys up front time to get to that quarterback.
And we talk about those freshmen growing up. Keldrick Falk certainly has grown up back there, and Kalen Lee has also grown up and got a lot of playing time because of the fact that Auburn has had early leads in these games. That certainly is going to pay off down the stretch against Alabama, maybe today, and certainly in whatever bowl game there is to come. A couple of guys we want to salute. Jalen McLeod, the SEC Defensive Player of the Week, 9 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble.
Huge day.
Last week. He had a tremendous day. Of course, Keontae Scott was named Special Teams Player of the Week primarily because of the punt return, the 74-yard punt return that very early almost put the clincher in the first quarter. And then, Andy, there's another freshman, a redshirt freshman kicker that you talked to this week. I mean, he has done far more than you would expect a freshman or even a redshirt freshman or even a senior to do.
It may have been a blessing in disguise that he got some action late last season.
Yeah.
He knew what the routine was like. He knew what the pressure was like. And, he has been he's been perfect for Auburn so far this season. And he breaks the record of Daniel Carlson for consecutive field goals made. Now an opportunity to add to that for the rest of this season.
So Alec McPherson has been outstanding. Hey, the incredible texture and taste of the Whataburger chili cheeseburger has returned. Now, it's not chili cheeseburger weather right now, but it's coming. So be aware of that. Layers of tasty chili, crunchy corn chips, crisp onions combined create a delicious comfort food masterpiece available for a limited time. You can get a few of those and enjoy them Thursday if you want to, although the wife might not appreciate that. Coming up on the menu today, we'll have Rick Smith joining us, the PA announcer for Jordan-Hare Stadium. He's been a voice you've heard for years and years. You can hear him on the Tailgate Show and come by and look at him and make fun of him if you like to.
Sure.
Later on, John Samuel Shanker, Dontavius Russell, and Walt McFadden, former Tiger players, will all be joining us today as well. So stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Conecuh sausage is a fan favorite for tailgating, always great on the grill, and it's the official sausage dog and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Conecuh sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork, their patented blend of seasonings, and smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true southern flavor. Be sure to visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama, right off I-65 at exit 96. Enjoy a crowd-pleasing Conecuh sausage dog while watching the Tigers and make Conecuh part of your game day. Conecuh sausage since 1947, a real winner.
The game has changed, and the future of Auburn athletics now demands a strong NIL program. I'm Jason Campbell. Let's come together, Auburn family, and make a lasting impact. Visit OnToVictory.com. Every dollar you contribute to On to Victory helps create NIL opportunities for our student athletes. Visit www.ontovictory.com and be a part of changing the game for Auburn athletics.
The Whataburger Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit is back. But some folks have yet to try it. So let's not do the thing where we're like, you've never had a jalapeno cheddar biscuit before? You know what? It's okay. Let's just invite them to try this flaky, cheesy, and slightly spicy goodness for themselves. The Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit, available as a sandwich or on its own from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. for a limited time at participating locations. Whataburger, just like you like it.
What does commitment sound like? At Alabama Power, we hear you, we see you, and celebrate you on long practice days, game days that bring us together, and every day in between. Your commitment to making an impact for the team, for the fans. That inspires us to be at our best for the communities we champion across the state. We're committed to this kind of energy. That's power for a better Alabama. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Auburn Tigers.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
And welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Shows. We come to you outside the Student Gate across from Cam Newton here in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Talking to Andy Burcham here. We're going to change subjects just briefly on this 2-minute drill and talk about the Tiger basketball team. A heartbreaker to Baylor to open the season, and since that time, the Tigers have gone to 3-1, 3 straight victories, and they've gotten better every single game. They're on their way back in an airplane, in fact, right now on the way back from Brooklyn, where they won the Legends Challenge Championship, and they did that in fine fashion. A big game last night.
Yeah, a scintillating second half on Thursday night against Notre Dame to pull away after that game was down to 6 points at the half. And last night, it was the first half, and primarily the last 3 or 4 minutes of the first half against St. Bonaventure, and Auburn led by 20 at the half last night. Janai Broome named the MVP for Auburn and for the tournament. That's 2 really good wins for the Tigers. Now back at home Tuesday night against Alabama A&M.
The thing you liked about the Legends Challenge, the guards were challenged on Thursday night. On Friday night, the big guys were challenged, and both units answered the challenge.
Auburn's point guards against Notre Dame were fabulous, I thought, in Trey Donaldson and Aiden Holloway. And then last night, it was the big guys. It was Broome and Dylan Cardwell, who came off the bench. 6 of 6 from free throws for Big Cap, they call him.
The Cap answered the call, and Jalen Williams probably had his best game of the season so far as well. So the Tigers now 3-1. They are at home on Tuesday night. It'll be a great chance to get out and see them while many of the students are out of town, so take advantage. First hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is the pimento cheese. I was like, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go get it.
Hi, this is Chantrice, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is the mild spiciness of the pickled jalapenos. No, it's the crispy chicken. Actually, I can't decide. It's the entire sandwich.
Order the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
The 50-yard line at Jordan-Hare.
Play action. Reed in trouble. Reed gets rid of it. And it's picked off. James at the 20, to the 15, to the 10, down the sideline. He's gone. Touchdown. DJ James.
Center court at Neville Arena.
Auburn, SEC champs, start to finish. The Tigers win 82-71, and the celebration begins at Auburn's Neville Arena.
Behind the plate at Plainsman Park.
The 2-2, swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Tigers win. In 2018, they celebrated in Raleigh, North Carolina. In 2019 in Atlanta. But today, Auburn celebrates at Plainsman Park.
We put you right in the middle of the action. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
When we say we're an everything school, we mean it. Auburn University isn't just home to the best athletics program in the nation. It's also home to the best student-centered engineering experience in America. And that's not just a slogan, it's a promise. The Samuel Ginn College of Engineering ranks as the top engineering colleges in the nation. Tomorrow's leaders, innovators, and world changers begin at the Ginn College of Engineering. Visit today, eng.auburn.edu.
And welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show. We're outside the east side of Jordan-Hare Stadium, counting it down. Auburn against the Aggies of New Mexico State. Paul Ellen, Andy Burcham with you. And joining us now, Dwayne Brandon. He is the Interim Associate Dean of Research and Faculty Affairs, and he's also the Faculty Athletics Representative and Chair of the Committee on Intercollegiate Activities. We'll talk about that in a moment, but first, tell us about the financial wellness that you were involved in, because all we got was a quick note on that. So go into as much detail and tell us what that actually is.
Well, it's a little bit soon to talk about a lot of detail with
Yeah.
respect to that project, but we're working on a comprehensive financial wellness initiative for Auburn students. So we're already involved in a couple things here and there, kind of disjointed, but it doesn't really have a home, and we're looking for a home for that and a solution, that goes beyond what we're currently doing, serve all Auburn students, student athletes in the community.
Get them ready for life after college, basically,
Exactly.
and dealing with the everyday stuff so that they don't have to worry about that while they're dealing with their professional career.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with sort of the Student Government Association here on campus,
Right.
Presidents for the last 10 or 15 years have been harping on financial literacy.
Yeah.
We're working on a solution.
Dwayne, how long for you with the Harbor College of Business?
20 years.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the naming gift through the matching gift campaign. It's funded 120 new endowments, and that supports faculty, programs, and student experiences, including internships.
Correct. Yeah, it actually doubled the number of faculty endowed positions that we had, which was a goal of Mr. Harbert when he originally gave the gift, and it's made a huge difference. In fact, it's not just the financial sort of aspects of a gift like that. President Roberts framed it really nice in a speech last night. It kind of makes you change the way you think about your college and how other people think about the college. Sort of puts a stamp on who you've become and kind of sets you up for a positive future.
The College of Business, the Harvard College of Business, has grown tremendously since the naming grant came in. Obviously those go hand in hand, but it's a significant place on campus. Not that it wasn't before, but it has stepped forward as a leading school on campus.
Yeah, it's funny. When I got here 20 years ago, we felt like the college was large. And, 10 years later, we got the gift, and we were at about 3,800.
In that role before. That is a significant role, but it's also a tough role to be in. You get the problems that kind of roll uphill in that job. Tell us, what does that mean? What do you have to do as the faculty athletics?
This is the first job I've ever had where you can't just sort of succinctly describe what it is.
Yeah.
But the NCAA requires every school to have a faculty athletics representative, and I serve in that role here at Auburn. You are one of the voting members of the university, so it's the president, you are one of the voting members of the university, so it's the president, the athletic director, senior women's administrator, the FAR, and I'm probably leaving somebody out that can also vote on our behalf. So I rep Auburn to the NCAA and the SEC. So we're part of a group. That's part of it. So it's part compliance, academic compliance, and it's part student-athlete well-being. And so it's a double charge. So I find myself out of that role when I moved into the associate dean's job and found myself right back in it. But now instead of 600 accounting majors, I've got 600 student athletes with every major on campus and dealing with faculty all over campus. So it's been challenging, but it's been fun and very rewarding.
All right, back to Harvard for just a moment. The additional scholarship money, the additional gifts that have come in have allowed you to establish two centers. Center for Supply Chain Innovation and the Harvard Investment Center. Can you just give us a little bit of idea what those mean to Harvard, what those mean to Auburn University?
Well, we have a number of centers, and those were two that were added. But what the centers do is, they always do research, they always serve students, and they sometimes serve the community. And so, setting those up gives things a home, a place for things to grow. It's funny, the investment center also we have a lab in the ground floor of Louder. Before I came over here, I grabbed a bottle of water just to make sure I was prepared. And on our way in, there were some young students walking by that lab just going on and on about how cool it was and how it reminded them of some Wall Street movie or something. So if you're ever on campus, you should go check it out.
Okay, and now when you say a Harvard Investment Center, do students, alumni, is that like an investment club? What are you trying to do? What's the goal of the investment?
Well, it has a couple of different goals, but it's provided a place for our students, and we have a student organization that's kind of becoming well known for placing students on Wall Street. It's the Financial Management Association in our finance department, and the Harvard Investment Fund as well, because it's kind of giving them a home and a lab in order to do their work and a place for students to meet.
So Jason Campbell can't take all that NFL money and come over there and say, give me some advice on investing this stuff.
Exactly.
All right, back to supply chain. That's a term I hadn't heard a whole lot. You've heard a lot of it since COVID, supply chain. Boy, how important is that now with the center here at Auburn University?
Yeah, very. We have one of the few supply chain departments and supply chain majors in the country. So it's highly ranked. We've got some top scholars in the field that are being asked to, testify before Congress or, comment on this, comment on that, and they travel all over the world and consult with people. It has become a hot topic, and frankly, I think they're kind of getting tired.
It's a good thing they're there, though.
It is a hot topic, that's for sure. Dwayne Brandon, thank you for being with us. There are a lot of questions we could ask you that you probably wouldn't want to answer on the air, but there's some quizzical questions in both of your roles, and it's a very interesting role that you serve on the campus, both in the Harvard College of Business and as the faculty athletics representative. Thank you for being with us
War Eagle.
today.
War
Eagle. Brick and Spoon, the place to be, weekday or weekend. They have something for everyone.
Ooh.
Hearty breakfast, delicious burgers, and amazing Bloody Marys. Come enjoy what Brick and Spoon has to offer. 2836 Pepperell Parkway in Opelika. They can't wait to see you at the Brick. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Hey parents and kids, it's a perfect time for students to read their way to the Iron Bowl in AEA's Be a Champion and Read contest.
AEA wants to help K through 6th grade students to be academic champions, just like the Auburn Tigers.
Students who participate in the Be a Champion and Read challenge could win 3 tickets to the Iron Bowl and a chance to take the field on game day. Ask your teacher about contest rules.
Encourage your child to be an AEA champion reader and win a trip to the Iron Bowl.
There's a new feeling on the Plains this year. New coach, new staff, new players. Because Auburn knows that if you want to be the best, you've got to hire the best. I'm Kenny Mullins for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613, Auburn's electricians. We train our members to become the top 1% of electrical workers anywhere. It's why we are the best electricians in the world and why we would like to work on your next new electrical project. If you want to be the best, hire the best. Hire IBEW electricians. Learn more at IBEW613.org. War Eagle.
This broadcast of Auburn football is brought to you in part by Moe's Original Barbecue. Moe's Original Barbecue in Auburn is the place to go for a Southern soul food revival made from scratch with Southern hospitality. It's also a great place to catch all the games on Saturday when Auburn's on the road. Plus, make us a part of your tailgate experience with our catering options available for pickup or delivery. Moe's Original Barbecue with 2 locations in Auburn, downtown and on Bent Creek Road.
Don't you mean fa la 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 la?
Nope, we're shaking things up.
Whatever you say.
Shake things up this season at the Toyotathon sales event. Lease a new 2024 Toyota RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 24 months, plus $500 holiday bonus cash. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through December 5th, 2023. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3638 do-it signing. No security deposit. With select equipment, $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Allen back with you outside Jordan-Hare Stadium as we count it down to kickoff. Auburn against New Mexico State. Time for a check of the Yellowwood scoreboard. Some early games, the early wave all underway. Michigan not missing Jim Harbaugh a whole lot. They lead Maryland 23-3 with 4 minutes to go in the first half in that one. Alabama at home, about to go to halftime, leading the scrappy Mocs, who aren't real scrappy in Tuscaloosa today. It's 38-7. Alabama leads that one. Potential upset brewing down in the Glades as Miami leads 10th-ranked Louisville 21-14. That game with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half, and that would shake some things up if Louisville were to drop that game to Miami. Penn State and Rutgers, it's 10-3. The Nittany Lions lead. Final minute of the first half in that game. Ole Miss in a surprising struggle at halftime in Oxford. They lead UL Monroe 7-3. The Warhawks really putting up a fight against the Rebels. Out in Provo, Oklahoma leads BYU 17-14. About 3 minutes to go in the first half of that one. And 24th ranked Tulane, a 14-0 leader over Florida Atlantic. They are at halftime down in South Florida. Other games of interest, Army trying to rebound. They lead Coastal Carolina 21-14. That would be a mild upset if it stands. Michigan State leading Indiana 14-7 as they play in Bloomington. And Mississippi State leading Southern Miss 13-7, about 2 minutes from halftime. In that one, also Texas A&M leading Abilene Christian 17-7, and that's a look at your Yellowwood scoreboard. The first hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
With Vizzy's vibrant dual flavors, the vibe is yours to decide.
I'm thinking Vizzy Refreshingly Berry. A round of blackberry lemon at the bar?
Could be good. Maybe Vizzy Vibrantly Tropical.
You always say vibrantly tropical.
Come on, a cooler full of papaya passion fruit on the beach?
Oh yeah, that's a vibe. I'm down.
Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Flavor for every vibe. Naturally flavored with other natural flavors. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Molson Coors Beverage Company. Milwaukee, Wisconsin flavored beer.
Here's a clip from a recent Talking Tigers podcast with Andy Burcham.
The first player that I talked to at Auburn University was this linebacker named Quentin Riggins.
We will not be staying for the full game. Quentin has to be at work at 5 o'clock, and we're leaving at halftime. And Coach sat back, he nodded and said, okay. And he said, well, I hope you enjoy the game and so forth. Now, understand, I'm dying. I'm under the table here. I'm getting a chance to come. I get to meet Bo Jackson. But little did I know how important that was in my growth, my opportunity, and what propelled me to be on Auburn's radar even more so.
A new episode of the Talking Tigers podcast is released every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts. Like and subscribe to the Talking Tigers podcast, only from the Auburn Sports Network.
Hey parents and kids, it's a perfect time for students to read their way to the Iron Bowl in AEA's Be a Champion and Read contest.
AEA wants to help K through 6th grade students to be academic champions, just like the Auburn Tigers.
Students who participate in the Be a Champion and Read challenge could win 3 tickets to the Iron Bowl and a chance to take the field on game day. Ask your teacher about contest rules.
Encourage your child to be an AEA champion reader and win a trip to the Iron Bowl.
Bottom of the hour outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium of the Tiger Tailgate Show in hour number 1. Auburn hosting New Mexico State. Britt Bowen here alongside Will Herring, and we have a special guest here on this segment, Rick Smith, Senior Lecturer of School of Communication and Journalism at Auburn, also the PA announcer of Jordan-Hare Stadium. Rick, War Eagle.
War Eagle, thanks for having me.
Hey, you're a busy man on game day, Rick. Take us through what your game day routine is leading up to you getting to the stadium.
Game day actually begins on Monday. That's when I began to pull together the spotting chart that I will use today. And from that point on, Matt Amos will begin to send me the script, and he does a great job of pulling that together. But, you know, I'll take it and put it in a form that's a little easier for me to read, to take it from small type to bigger type that I need. So there are a few days of that. And then once all of that is pulled together on Saturday morning, well, for example, today I was up about 5:30. I'm an early morning kind of guy generally, so I was up at 5:30, and I think it was about 6:30 or so I was sitting at the dining room table with a cup of tea, just going through everything, reading it out loud, making sure the phrasing is what it needs to be, making sure I'm familiar with the players, you know, just those aspects of it. And then at 10:45, I picked up Eric Canada. Eric is my spotter and the brains of the operation, and here we are.
I love it, Rick, being a father of 4 and an uncle to many more. Thanksgiving's coming up, so we always gather as family, and we like to make a big deal of the pickup game of football in the front yard. So I just want to warn you, just if I'm coming for you with the introductions and you just ask my nephews about it. I can put a little Eye of the Tiger background music in, and we have a good time. But no, I just think it's so cool. You know, everybody shows up and focuses on the game, but so much more goes into it. And just what an awesome just opportunity. You know, we met a young man earlier who has a podcast, and not everybody's blessed with the ability to go out there and play football. But there's so much more that goes into it. You've been gifted with such a talent and such a voice to do what you do. Just really cool.
Oh, thank you. And I am so lucky to be here. And I grew up as an Auburn fan. My dad is an Auburn grad, and I came to games from the time I was a little kid. You know, back in the days when there were no upper decks, no lights, all of that. So to be back in the stadium in this way is such an honor.
So cool.
It is.
Rick, take us back to when you got this opportunity. How did that become about? How did you prepare for that first season and now so many seasons being the voice of Jordan-Hare Stadium?
My first year doing PA for football was 2006. Prior to that, I had done PA for Opelika High School for a number of years. I had also done PA for Auburn baseball. So that was my connection with Auburn athletics. And then when Carl Stevens retired, I had the opportunity to take this next step.
And for you and following Carl, obviously a lot of Auburn fans remember him. How did you develop your own announcing style, or were you trying to compare yourself to Carl, or at least follow his vibe that he had going as Auburn's PA announcer?
Well, I listened to Carl as an Auburn student when I was a student here. And in my mind, that's how you call a football game. It was never my intention to try to mimic Carl, but it was my intention, at least my hope, to perform at the level that he did. Now, I'm not going to claim that I do that, but you know, that rhythm and that style and that Auburn approach of being neutral, that was the approach that I was going to take as well.
What a challenge to remain neutral and to be just very, very matter of fact. You know, these guys on the radio, a lot of times you just hear the emotion and I hate to use the word bias, but we love Auburn. We bleed orange and blue, and so do you. But just so cool, bud. And you do a phenomenal job, and I just love hearing you every week at these home games.
Well, thank you. You know, one of the questions I am most asked is, how did you not lose your mind at the end of Kick 6?
Right.
And with this being the 10th anniversary, but you know, the way that Eric and I approach this is we are here to do a job.
Right.
Just like during the game, you were at the game now to do a job.
Right.
And so our focus is on making the call. Now, as soon as I turned the mic off, we were jumping up and down and hugging and screaming like everyone else. But in that moment, it was about that moment in making the call.
Awesome.
Rick, what was some of your favorite moments over the years here in the stadium? Obviously that one, but what were also some of the more challenging moments like that one and trying to stay composed to get the call out? Because, again, I know you have that standard that you want to uphold yourself to.
Yeah, it's hard to answer the question about what's special. It's almost like asking, you know, which kid is your favorite? and what I mean by that is every game is special. You know, every game is special in its own way. Just like today, for example, you know, there will be people here today, there will be kids here today who've never been to an Auburn football game before, and that's something they'll never forget. But, you know, having said that, the first game against Washington State in 2006, that was a primetime game on ESPN. Everything about the 2010 season was special. Everything about the 2013 season was special. But again, it's week in and week out and having the honor of being a part of this family. And, you know, often say that since I'm the public address announcer, there's a certain amount of attention that I get. But I'm just one small part of a very big team.
Right.
With Eric and with Matt and with Jason Harbison and Richard Stevens, Carl's son, who's a scoreboard operator, so we continue that tradition. And the sound guys that I work with are awesome. So, you know, that list goes on and on. There's a lot of work that's done with a complete marketing team, with all of the sports information team, with the operations team. There's so many people doing great work to make this day happen. I just get to do my small part of it. It just happens to be a little loud.
Rick, so cool, you know, just talking about the team aspect of what goes into it on the logistics and the PA side of things. I look at it as kind of, you come to this game and you come to the stadium and the atmosphere and the game itself. It's easy to take for granted all the things that are happening around us, and we almost don't even notice it. But if for a second it ceased to exist, if for a second somebody didn't do their job or didn't do it professionally, you would notice. And man, just tip my hat to you and just all the other of your teammates that show up. Like you said, their workday starts on Monday in preparation for Saturday. Just very thankful for y'all.
Thank you very much.
Rick, we'll leave you with this. What's your advice to young announcers wanting to get into this? You're a teacher here at the School of Communication and Journalism here at Auburn. You get to interact with these students like myself that came to Auburn and wanting to live out this dream. How does that program prepare students for the next level?
Yeah, I used to hand Britt an exam full of questions, and now he's asking me questions.
Well, and I never liked it because his lectures were always fun, conversational, and then you get to the exam thinking, what the heck is this? When do we do this?
Yeah. College is hard. Yeah, within the School of Communication and Journalism, especially within our sports production program, the idea is to provide classroom knowledge that is essential, but also practical experience. So within that, there are really two primary ideas I pass along to students. One is get as much experience as you can to go with the classroom work, because the classroom experience is essential and the practical application is essential. But what I also say is every day is an audition, because in what we do, you never know who's listening and you never know who's watching. And it may be that the right person is in the audience that day who hears you do your work, right, that leads to the next step that you're able to take. And that's true at every level. It's true for students working in student media and everyone else, no matter what level it may be.
Sound advice from the voice of Jordan-Hare Stadium. Rick Smith joining us on the Tiger Tailgate Show. Rick, appreciate you joining us. Have a great call today.
Thank you. War Eagle.
Thank you, Rick. War Eagle, buddy.
If you're looking for an easy, seamless transition to Auburn University, consider Southern Union State Community College, conveniently located only a few miles from Auburn. Southern Union offers classes that easily transfer to the university. Endless opportunities are right up the road. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
War Eagle, it's a great day for Auburn Tigers to get vaccinated. Many children and adults that delayed vaccinations during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It's crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Children and teens can still catch up on their vaccinations even if they start late. Make sure you and your family are all up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19 and flu. Let's all do our part to get back on track. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Auburn Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Hey, I'm Charles Barkley. Call for a Redmont and water at bars and restaurants throughout the great state of Alabama. Redmont Vodka, available at select ABC stores and package stores. Redmont Vodka is 8 times distilled, gluten-free, and is made from non-GMO corn. Looking to support a local business? Redmont Distilling is Alabama proud and minority owned. Learn more online at redmontdistilling.com.
Conecuh Sausage is a fan favorite for tailgating, always great on the grill, and it's the official sausage dog and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork, their patented blend of seasonings, and smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true Southern flavor. Be sure to visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama, right off I-65 at exit 96. Enjoy a crowd-pleasing Conecuh Sausage dog while watching the Tigers and make Conecuh part of your game day. Conecuh Sausage, since 1947, a real winner.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Well, anybody listening to the Tiger Tailgate Show knows we love talking food occasionally, time to time. This is one of the biggest food weeks of the year. We welcome in the former quarterback, Jason Campbell. Jason, take me through, all right? Thanksgiving week with the Campbells. What can we expect on the spread?
Well, I'm always trying to change up some things, but I've always tried to add lamb chops the last couple of years, but I kind of get vetoed. But I told me if it's at my house, I get to make the rules. So, but usually you can always count on the turkey, the dressing, the ham, the greens, and, all the good stuff. But, my thing is the go-to pies. Are we having, pecan pie? Are we having pound cake? Are we having red velvet cake? Are we having bread pudding?
Buttermilk pie is underrated.
But gumbo is something else I want to add to the menu.
Gumbo?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'd pull up for that. Well, how about this? This is the question. I think in this part of the country it's mostly dressing, but I'll ask you anyways. Dressing or stuffing for you and your family
man,
on Thanksgiving?
You even got to ask. You can look over here. I'm a dressing guy.
Okay.
Right. I want that thing fresh out the oven. Let it cool off just a little bit, and then once it cool off, give me a little bit of, some people put, what's the grape jelly you put on there?
Cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Some people put cranberry sauce on there. I just like mine natural.
Lastly, what's the football routine in the Campbell household? Is that a priority on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, it's a big priority. We watch all 3 games, the NFL games, and now they throw in some college games, and sometimes it becomes too much to watch because there's too many sports events on that day. So I just kind of pick the best games and just watch those.
Well, it's kind of.
But I'm sleep half the time because that power nap that comes after that. After you eat good food, you do what? You fall asleep.
So expect Jason to sleep through the Egg Bowl this year. The first hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Live Sports Radio, bringing you inside Neville Arena for all the action of men's and women's basketball game day with no delay. Every dunk, block shot, and steal, plus all the analysis from our Hall of Fame coaches, all with no delay. $25 new or $10 to reprogram the one you already have. Also, use it for every broadcast of home baseball and softball games this spring, all with no delay. With Live Sports Radio, presented by Alpha Insurance.
Hey, I'm Charles Barkley. Call for a Redmont and water at bars and restaurants throughout the great state of Alabama. Redmont Vodka, available at select ABC stores and package stores. Redmont Vodka is 8 times distilled, gluten-free, and is made from non-GMO corn. Looking to support a local business? Redmont Distilling is Alabama proud and minority owned. Learn more online at redmontdistilling.com.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Auburn Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Thank you, Auburn, for over 40 years of business. Since day one at Guthrie's, we've been serving up the best golden fried chicken fingers, hand-chopped coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, and our signature Guthrie's sauce. Often imitated, never duplicated. We have 4 Auburn locations to serve you, including South College and our downtown location off East Glen Avenue, which is open until 3 a.m. every night. Fresh, hot, and fast. That's the Guthrie's promise. To find the nearest Guthrie's to you, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
And welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show, our game pick segment, my opinion, best segment of the show. Guthrie's thanks the Auburn family for over 40 years of business since day one. Fresh, hot, and fast has always been the Guthrie's promise. To find the nearest Guthrie's to you, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. This is always one of the best segments because it's competitive. The standings are competitive, and here to make it so a guest pick here with us today is Tigers track and field star Justin Stuckey. Justin, War Eagle, welcome in.
War Eagle, appreciate you guys having me on.
He's a social media star as well.
Well, and it's funny, when I heard the name Justin Stuckey,
Yeah.
I immediately thought social media
That's cool, man.
before track and field. I'm sorry, Justin.
It's cool, it's cool.
All right, we got a lot of games to get through today.
What is your best high jump so far?
My best high jump is 7'3".
7'3". Goodness.
Wow.
gracious.
I can jump over Shaq.
There you go.
Fun fact.
All right.
Smooth, did you guys do high jumps in football back in college?
No, sir. That's a big negative.
I can high jump. I can high jump. I just can't get 7'3".
There you go.
But,
Good. Glad to hear that.
40 pounds lighter.
3'7".
I can do 3'7".
Flip it around.
I could dunk as a ninth grader.
There you go.
That's
not quite clearing your entire body over the rim.
Right.
Close.
How do you get your entire body over the pole? What's the key?
A lot of practice and a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
Like you got to bend your back and arch your back. Is there some form of stretching you do? Like
it's a very unique event for sure. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody wants to do it, but if you're good at it, then you find your little home there. Not everybody can be both, so you got to find your thing. I couldn't be a sprinter. So.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Anybody can be a linebacker or a quarterback.
Yeah, quarterbacks
not
are dime a
everybody
dozen.
can high jump.
That's
No,
right.
not everybody. Not everybody can pick, too, so let's hit these picks.
That's right.
Well, last week, voice of the Tigers, Andy
Yes,
Burcham,
thank you.
4-0. All right, let's get the gloating out of the way.
Thank you
first.
very much. I'm the only one that took Central Florida to beat Oklahoma State.
You're right.
Gus
you
Bus.
did.
And it paid off. Jason and Paul went 3-1. Ronnie went 2-2. So that gets us to our standings. Andy, that win over with UCF puts you up a game over Paul, 29-11. Paul's a game back.
I thought it was a game ahead.
No, we were tied.
Listen, I've got nothing to do with the standings.
Okay.
Blame Brad Law, okay, when he gets
I
back
thought
next
Andy
week.
took Tennessee last week.
No. I was
All right.
4-0 last week. Sorry. Nice try.
Coming down to the battle for the golden finger here the next 2 weeks.
Paul at 28-12, and then it depends on how you look at it, the battle for third or the battle for last. Ronnie and Will is 26-14, tied with the quarterback with 26-14.
Yeah, I reached
All right.
for a few games.
All right, so what's the strategy here today going through? We got 4 games to pick. We got Georgia, Tennessee, Kansas State, Kansas, Washington, Oregon State, Kentucky, South Carolina. What's the strategy?
Do it from a time standpoint.
My strategy is whatever the leaders pick to go elsewhere within reason.
Oh, so you're chasing.
So you know how in the NFL, the last place team gets to draft first? I think the guys in the back need to listen to the champs, the leaders.
That's fine.
Let's hear what y'all got.
Let's see if that works for you.
But look, I'm the new guy still, so I'm not making the rules. I'm just abiding.
Our regular producer's on a bus somewhere.
Let's
so
actually get to the picks.
All right,
Let's do it. Everybody don't make money.
we're going to run out of time.
Let's let the boss man, Andy Burcham, lead it off. Georgia at Tennessee. Georgia 10-0, trying to stay in that college football playoff.
They're 11-0 after this week. I think they're very good, getting better. Bowers is back, and they win at Tennessee.
Paul, what you got?
I agree 100%. I think Tennessee is about ready to mail in this season.
Justin.
You're looking at Tennessee. They haven't won a ranked matchup all season. And you're looking at Georgia. You got Brock Bowers back. Ladd McConkey's getting in a rhythm. You got to go with the Dogs winning big.
Good call.
Justin going with the Dogs. Smooth, what you got?
My man, high jump, been paying attention to college football.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with my man Justin right here. I think he made some great points. Tennessee, I don't think stand a chance up front against that defensive line, offensive line for Georgia.
Will going for the
to
clean
be
sweep.
the champ, you got to beat the champ. The Dogs, as much as it pains me, they're still undefeated, and Tennessee is not going to beat Georgia. I'm going with the Dogs.
Clean sweep for Georgia today on Rocky Top. Also a big one, in-state matchup in Lawrence tonight. Kansas State on the road at Kansas. Kansas State favored 7.5 in that one. Let's start on the other end. Will?
Kansas State, 7.5 favorite. Don't know much about either of these teams, so logic tells me I'm going with the touchdown favorite.
Jason, what you got?
Well, the fact that they're favored 7.5 tells me something. So I'm going to go with Kansas State.
Justin?
You're looking at Kansas State. They're a sound ball club. They've only lost 2 of the 3 losses have been to, Missouri and Texas. Combined points, 6 points.
2 good teams.
2 good teams. So this shows that they can compete with the big dogs. You're looking at Kansas. They played without their starter majority of the season, who's a good friend of mine. They had their backup, who's questionable today, and I can't put those circumstances against Kansas State. Got to go K-State.
Paul Katz favored by 10. Who you going with?
I tell you what, I like the Kansas coach, Leopold. I like Kansas at home in the Sunflower Shootout. But the points he made, Kansas State has been in every game. They've only lost 2, and they could have won them both. So I got to go with Kansas State. Big stakes on the line. Kansas State is still in the running for the Big 12 championship game. So they got a lot to play for.
Andy.
I would love to take Kansas, but I think they're just too injured, and especially at the quarterback spot. I'll take K-State.
All right, another clean sweep. This one in Lawrence against Kansas State over Kansas. 2 more picks to go. Going back out west to the Pac-12 in Washington at Oregon State. Washington right now on the outside looking in the college football playoff. Oregon State favored by 1. Paul, let's lead it off with you.
I tell you what, Corvallis on a Saturday night, Washington undefeated, and they're a road underdog.
Figure that out.
I like the way Oregon State plays. I like the way DJ is playing quarterback. He has very quietly put together a great year. I'm going with the Beavers.
Paul going with the Beavers. All right. Jason, who you got?
Oh, can you go Andy go first?
Sure. I'll go first.
Go for it.
I'll take UW. I think Washington goes in. I'm trying to figure out how Washington is not a favorite at undefeated on the season. I'll take UW to win it.
Justin, you got to split the difference here.
I think this is the most game with the biggest stakes today.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
got a Washington team still fighting for college football playoffs. You got Oregon State trying to get into the Pac-12 with wins this weekend.
The true Pac-12.
True Pac-12. It's about to be the Pac-2 soon. So putting it out there. But I think it's going to come down to the run game. Damian Martinez is going crazy. And then you look at Washington, their defense, run defense has been abysmal. 127th ranked. But I'm not counting against Michael Penix Jr., Washington.
There you go.
All right. Smooth.
Yeah, go ahead. I went first.
Washington had a tough win. I mean, it came off a tough win last week, against Utah.
Take Oregon State. Go ahead.
And Oregon State's tough at home.
And last place.
Quarterbacks win these big games, and as I'm going Penix, so I'm going, Ugalele. I'm Washington.
You would have picked Oregon if you could pronounce a quarterback.
At least you got the coach right.
All right, Will.
Right. I'm with Andy and the boys, except for Paul. I know Paul picked Oregon State. Just the quarterback play of Washington. I know they're going on the road in a hostile environment, but I'm going with the Huskies.
One more to go. Got a minute and a half. Kentucky at South Carolina. Cats favored by 1.5. Will start us off.
Quickly.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yep. Jason.
Where's the game at?
Carolina.
At Carolina.
Kentucky.
Jason. Justin, what you got?
I've got Kentucky hitting it on the road.
Ooh.
All right.
Paulissimo.
I think Kentucky's mailing it in also. I like Spencer Rattler. Big night. South Carolina.
I'm taking South Carolina at home as well.
All right. 3-1, South Carolina over Kentucky. That's going to do it for the final hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show. Coming up in hour number 2, John Samuel Shanker, Dontavius Russell, Walter McFadden, and matchups. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Thank you, Auburn, for over 40 years of business. Since day one at Guthrie's, we've been serving up the best golden fried chicken fingers, hand-chopped coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, and our signature Guthrie sauce. Often imitated, never duplicated. We have 4 Auburn locations to serve you, including South College and our downtown location off East Glen Avenue, which is open until 3 a.m. every night. Fresh, hot, and fast. That's the Guthrie's promise. To find the nearest Guthrie's to you, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the tailgater who's testing the laws of physics with a table and a grill and 6 camping chairs all balanced on the roof of a small sedan. Make that 4 camping chairs. Why would you pay a rate based on anyone else? Get a rate based on you with DriveWise and the Allstate app.
Not available in California, subject to terms and conditions. Some states' participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating, while in some states a rate could increase with high-risk driving. Safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Tackle your to-do list this season and find the right Aetna Medicare plan for you in your home state of Alabama. With Aetna Medicare Advantage plans, you can get a $0 monthly plan premium with hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage. Plans also include dental, vision, and an over-the-counter benefit. Be the star quarterback of your health. Call us for a personalized coverage review now. 1-833-771-7542. TTY 711. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. RSNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
Thinking of medical school? Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine in Auburn has award-winning medical education and research programs. VCOM partners with Auburn University for student activities, research, and sports medicine physicians to care for Tiger athletes. VCOM is providing tomorrow's physicians for Auburn and the surrounding communities. Find out more at vcom.edu. That's vcom.edu.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Checking the Yellowwood scoreboard here on the Tiger Tailgate Show. Number 3, Michigan on the road at Maryland without Jim Harbaugh. Michigan got down early 3-0, since scored 16 in the first quarter. They're up 23-10 at the half in Maryland. In Tuscaloosa, Alabama taking care of business over Chattanooga. Number 8 Crimson Tide leading that one 38-10, 10:46 to go in the third quarter. Have a close one down in Miami. The Hurricanes lead number 10 Louisville 21-20 at the half. And in State College, also a close ball game in the second half. Number 12 Penn State leads Rutgers 10-6, 13-20 to go in the third quarter there. In Oxford, number 13 Ole Miss hosting UL Monroe. Rebels on top 14-3, 7:19 to go in the third in Oxford. And back in at BYU, number 14 Oklahoma. BYU tied at 17 at the half. That's one to watch down the stretch of the second half. And then number 24 Tulane shutting out Florida Atlantic on the road. Tulane's up 21-0, 7:39 to go in the third quarter. And then Army, this is an upset of the day. They're up at home over Coastal Carolina. Army leads that one 28-14, 11-14 to go in the third. Army has got to win today and beat Navy to become bowl eligible at 6-6. Also at the half in Bloomington, Michigan State up a touchdown over Indiana, 14-7 the score there. And in Starkville, Mississippi State, an in-state matchup with Southern Miss. Dogs on top 16-7 over the Golden Eagles. And Northwestern in the Big Ten up 6-0 over Purdue with 11:40 left to go in the third. The first hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Presenting the all-new Aubie's Kids Club. Benefits include an exclusive Aubie-branded swag box or bag, t-shirt, membership card, access to exclusive Kids Club events, as well as free admission to non-conference baseball, softball, and women's basketball games. Members also get a monthly newsletter from Aubie, a special invitation to Aubie's birthday party, and a personalized birthday card. 2 membership options are available. Learn more and register at aubieskidsclub.com.
When we say we're an everything school, we mean it. Auburn University isn't just home to the best athletics program in the nation, it's also home to the best student-centered engineering experience in America. And that's not just a slogan, it's a promise. The Samuel Ginn College of Engineering ranks as the top engineering college in the state of Alabama, while also ranking as one of the best public engineering colleges in the nation. Tomorrow's leaders, innovators, and world changers begin at the Ginn College of Engineering. Visit today, eng.auburn.edu.
Thinking of medical school? Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine in Auburn has award-winning medical education and research programs. VCOM partners with Auburn University for student activities, research, and sports medicine physicians to care for Tiger athletes. VCOM is providing tomorrow's physicians for Auburn and the surrounding communities. Find out more at vcom.edu. That's vcom.edu.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here we go.
This is the Auburn Sports Network, and it's time for another hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage. Conecuh Sausage is the official sausage and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Straight ahead, more special guests and features, and a breakdown of the X's and O's as we move closer to kickoff. Here's Paul Ellen to start another hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show.
What a perfect day for football. Bright, sunny skies, almost a sky blue sky not navy blue, but still a beautiful day for football. The Tiger Walk taking place right now. The team making their way down Donahue Drive and into the stadium. Auburn as healthy as they have been all year long as they try to hit the stretch run on this 3-game winning streak. They'll be trying to extend it today against New Mexico State. The Tiger Walk report presented by the Alabama Department of Public Health, who remind you, don't wait, vaccinate. Protect yourself and others by staying current on all recommended vaccines, including COVID and flu. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM. Paul Ellen, Andy Burcham, Jason Campbell with you and joining us now. A name familiar to all Auburn fans and in the not-too-distant past, John Samuel Shanker joins us. John, thanks for being with us, War Eagle.
War Eagle, thank you guys for having me. Excited to be here.
You're the all-time tight end leader for a career and also the single-season tight end leader in receptions for the Auburn Tigers. Now, that single-season record may be in danger with this with this current group of this current offense and this current group of tight ends. There's a guy over there. I don't know if you've been keeping up, but there's a guy over there. If he has a average day, he's gonna have that single-season record in Rivaldo Fairweather. So
yeah, he's had a great season. I saw him coming in January, and we got to talk and. He wanted to just get a feel for how things are here. And he's having a great season, really picking up, obviously, as the offense has picked up as we've gone on through the season. But, yeah, he's having a great season. He's knocking on the door for sure.
The key to being the all-time receptions leader and a single-season receptions leader is a quarterback. He's got a good one. You had a pretty good one you played with, too. And you had an offense that liked to throw it around.
Yeah, and I think that's a key, obviously. In an offense, you have to be able to do both things. You got to run and pass. But definitely in the recent games, Peyton's done really well. He's thrown the ball. The offense is becoming balanced, and Jarquez obviously is having some great games as of late as well.
I think you'd have liked playing in this offense.
Yes,
I think you'd have thrived in this offense. When's the last time you were on campus?
Oh gosh, I guess right before the draft. So April was my last time here, and we just got back last week. So this is my first action as a former player.
So what is it like for you and your wife to come back to campus for the first time in quite some time?
It is. It's really awesome. We are excited when we woke up this morning to come here. Obviously, going to see the game will be really awesome to be on this side and embrace it in that way. So we're excited.
You going to be in the stands or on the sideline?
I think I'll be in the stands for this one. But
what about next week?
Oof. Yeah. We'll see if I can get on the sideline for that
one. You
one.
may have some eligibility left. For
no, I'm done.
John, you talk about, we was talking before we got on air, that you drove 30 hours and your wife helped you. Y'all kept alternating. You drove from Vegas.
Goodness.
Straight here.
We did.
What was the route?
It's a lot of states. So you go in through Texas, Oklahoma, and then you go through Arkansas, Mississippi, you get through Memphis, and you go straight down through Birmingham. But we were like, if we stop, it's just going to make this trip longer and more dreadful. So we just said, the heck with it. We'll just keep driving. And we got here in a day and a half, and it was bad for a while, but you got over it, and you finally get here.
Well, you're young, right?
That's right. I couldn't do that older for sure.
It must be good to be in your 20s because you do that after 40, your back could be hurt a little bit.
Mine was hurting at 25, so it was a struggle.
John, you talk about this offense, how you would love to be a tight end in this offense. I remember for years when you were here, we kept trying to say, throw to the tight end, involve the tight end in the offense. And then you finally got a chance. They finally started involving you guys in the latter part right there. But from a tight end perspective, what helps the tight end the most? Is it a really good run game, or is it just you being more athletic than a safety or linebacker? Why is tight end so important nowadays? It seems like more than the past, because the past it was more about putting your hands in the dirt. Right. You pretty much a extra lineman blocking, but now you guys are like stand up. They move you around. You're more involved in the passing offense. What makes tight end so much more special now?
I think it's the run threat, because I think most of your short and intermediate passes are RPOs throws to the tight end, or just short little routes that are off of run action. So I think the run game is a huge piece to the entire offense, but especially the tight end. I mean, you'll split them out. Like Fairweather will be out on the edge some today, but I think for the most part, like it's normally when he's attached and he's going across the formation, and with the motion, he's hitting him in the flat. So I think a lot of it has to do with the running game.
Yeah.
Like guys like you and Fairweather, the modern tight end, that position has changed a heck of a lot in the last 10 years. Even Cooper Wallace had played with you, but he was an aberration back then. It's not as much having a big brute who can block and occasionally catch one over the middle. you got to do a lot of different things. You still have to block, but you put you out in that slot position, and they got to decide. They're going to put a linebacker on you, going to put a safety on you. It really. It made a place for guys of your size and speed.
Well, I think that's a huge advantage for any team, because then you have a guy, if he can do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ultimate weapon, because you don't know if he's going out for a pass or if he's blocking on the run. So I think that's a huge key to any offense is a good tight end that can do it all, because if you don't, then teams can scheme you up and they can do different things knowing what you're going to do. So that's a huge piece to this offense for sure.
I got to spend some seasons not only in the fall but in the spring with John Samuel, because John Samuel, part of the baseball
first
program.
Baseman, yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah.
Talk about doing that at the same, because we don't see that very often anymore. Auburn has been famous for those guys that have done that in their career. You're another one of those.
That was really difficult. A lot of lost time with friends and family, but that's a sacrifice you make. I mean, it is an awesome opportunity, though, to play with Coach Thompson. I mean, an amazing coach, and for both of the teams to be able to allow that. I mean, that doesn't happen everywhere. A lot of teams don't allow that, especially on the football side, because there's so much dedication to one sport. But it was awesome to be able to do that, to do both in the spring. And I look back, and it was a crazy time, but looking back, it was such an awesome experience and something that not many people get to do. So that's a really awesome opportunity that I had to do that.
How did you wind up at Auburn? What was your path to get here?
Well, I did come here from a young age with my dad to football games. We were only 2 hours from here, so Athens was a long ways away in Georgia. So coming here was what we did, and we just grew up coming here. We get tickets when we got here. We didn't have them yet, and
really,
we come to games and enjoy that. And obviously, there's some great ball teams when I was growing up. So especially with these two guys, so it was really fun to watch, and I think it inspired me. And now looking at this stadium, it's a little bit different outlook now than when I was growing up.
So did Carson take care of you when you was out there? Did he take you to a nice restaurant?
He did, actually. He was a big help when we first got there, just settling in. Now he's gone rogue. He's got a mustache and all this stuff. So but yeah, he's taking care of us. Obviously, he's still having a great NFL career, which we all knew he would have when he left here.
Well, you could let him know. There's a freshman in here shattering some of his records already. So nothing stands forever.
The football kicking legends of Auburn will continue, obviously, with McPherson.
John, thank you for taking time to be with us. Enjoy your first game in the stands in quite a while, and we appreciate you being here and hope you'll join us again later.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you. War Eagle.
Be safe driving back.
I might be flying back on that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. All-time receiving leader among tight ends, John Samuel Shanker, with us here on the Tiger Tailgate Show. Hey, everyone's a winner with the Jax app. Every time you order your handmade favorites, you'll earn big points. It's the app that loves you back with daily deals and loads of delicious rewards. Download the Jax app today and eat at jax.com. Stay with us. Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
People take their chili seriously. At Whataburger, we also put chili on a pedestal made of 100% fresh beef. The Whataburger Chili Cheeseburger, made to order with our own chili on 2 all-beef patties, melty cheese, onions, mustard, and crunchy corn chips. This is chili elevated to burger height. The Chili Cheeseburger is back for a limited time. Whataburger, just like you like it.
Auburn Bank presents Championship Moments.
The 2013 regular season closed with the mother of all Auburn wins! Simply put, it's the most electrifying ending in sports history. I'm Jacob Hillman, and this has been another championship moment presented by Auburn Bank, champions of you.
Who out there likes chicken and eggs? Both are protein-packed and loaded with essential vitamins and minerals to keep you healthy and your immune system strong. Start your morning with a delicious omelet with all your favorite fix-ins. Or have some grilled chicken for dinner. Here in Alabama, we produce almost 500 million eggs a year. You just can't beat that. However you choose to enjoy chicken or eggs, remember, they're good for you and great for Alabama.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Allen back with you with Will Herring as we kind of talk about this game with New Mexico State. Auburn is a 3-touchdown favorite plus with anywhere you look at this on ESPN and other places. But, Will, this is the definition of a true sandwich game. A pretty good team. They've won 6 straight games. They're playing for a conference championship next week. Auburn is coming off a 3-game winning streak, 2 road wins in the SEC, and they got their arch rival coming in here next week. The sandwich game falls right between them. You have any memories of a sandwich game in your career that maybe didn't lose one but scared you to death?
You know, Paul, football is such a game of passion and emotion. It's hard to week in and week out show up and play with that energy that they played with last week. But that's what good ball clubs do. This is a business trip, and the trip today happens to be in Jordan Hare, our backyard. You know, I remember our coordinator, Coach Chizik, just scaring us to death as we're watching a team, kind of like New Mexico State. They're routing people. They're running people out of the stadium. And at times, they've got to put together a good win, a good winning season, and just. I mean, we played the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Oh yeah. I thought they were the daggum Dallas Cowboys by the time they rolled in here. We were so scared. Like, now we took care of business, but I remember as a player that our coaching staff. They were not going to let us sleep on this opponent.
Well, you remember the Georgia State game just a couple of years ago. Auburn trailed late and wound up winning that game on a late touchdown pass on 4th down. So sandwich games can bite you. We don't want any sandwiches here.
You got to show up, handle business.
We don't want any sandwiches here between Feast Week, that's for sure. Stay with us. More to come on the Tiger Tailgate Show. This is the Auburn Sports Network.
How are you the ultimate Auburn fan? Because I got this air horn installed in my throat. Pretty sick, right? Yes, you look really sick. What doctor would even do this? Doctor? I did this myself. I mean, I can't swallow whole food, but still. Wait, what? Just gotta plow through it. Hey, can I get a couple of soups up there? What about some chamomile tea? Don't be that guy. Get a fan card. The smart way to be the ultimate Tigers fan. Just go to auburncards.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Who out there likes to eat chicken? Did you know that when it comes to chicken production, Alabama rules the roost? In fact, we're ranked 2nd in the country in broiler production. That's meat-type chickens, with nearly 2,600 poultry farm families raising more than 1 billion birds a year. Alabama's poultry industry adds more than $15 billion a year to the state's economy and provides jobs for almost 90,000 Alabamians. So be sure to prepare your favorite chicken dish this football season.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the guy in post-game traffic watching the post-game highlights while trying to make a left turn out of the very busy post-game parking lot. Why would you pay a rate based on anyone else? Get a rate based on you with DriveWise and the Allstate app.
Not available in California, subject to terms and conditions. Some states' participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating, while in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
And welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show. Crowd picking up here as we get set for football. It is a perfect day for football. Paul Ellen and Jason Campbell, Andy Burcham, all with you and joining us now. A star in the trenches for the Auburn Tigers a decade ago. Boy, it doesn't seem like a decade ago, does it? Dontavius Russell joins us, nose tackle for the Tigers, 2014 to 18. Don, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Came here from Carrollton, Georgia. Boy, Carrollton has been a good place for the Auburn Tigers. You had some friends that came here with you, Josh Harris, Jonathan Jones, and you. Carrollton puts out some pretty good football players.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good pipeline for Carrollton, I feel like.
You're a soft-spoken guy. We'll get that back.
my apologies.
Yeah.
I said I feel like Carrollton's been a pretty good pipeline for Carrollton prospects coming out of college. It's one of the reasons I came.
You play a thankless position. Guy right in the middle of the defensive line. Your job is to crush the pocket and get to guys like Jason Campbell. What's your attitude going to be? You know you're not going to have great stats. You know what your job is, and you kind of have to be the judge along with your position coach of how your game went, because people just don't hear your name that much.
Well, for me, it was more so what the stat sheet actually said for me as far as, like, getting twofers and what they said on the film. Yeah. So what I graded out as. So that's kind of how you got to rate yourself, especially if you were playing nose tackle like myself. You can't really – not saying I wasn't seeking to get sacks, but it wasn't my main priority.
Jason, you knew who the nose tackles were, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, you always had to know who the nose tackle was, especially if in the center knew who the nose tackle was. So, And I'll tell you, talk about this. Carrollton High School, y'all are in the playoffs now. Y'all play Walton this week coming up, so I'm pretty sure you keep up with your old alma mater.
Of course.
But talk about that 2017 defense, though, man. You guys had a national championship-style defense.
Yeah.
Like, you had some guys. What made y'all so special?
I think again, like you said, it comes down to the guys that you have. We had some special guys from Derek Brown to Marlon Davidson, Deshaun Davis, and a lot of people felt like they were the best guy on that defense when we would sit there and playing with each other. So, and then plus to have that trust that we had with one another, and the same trust in the defensive quarter we had in Coach Steele, I just feel like we could beat anybody at that point.
Yeah. Talk about the way you guys finished that regular season, and especially here at Jordan-Hare with the win over Georgia and then the win against Alabama.
Man, those were two of the biggest games of my career, just in how it felt and playing those games, how it builds up when you playing the number one team, and no one expects you to win that game if you want to be honest about it. But then you beat that number one team, and you come up with it again.
And you beat them by 30.
Yeah, blew them out.
Yeah.
So then to come back and get that same opportunity and do it again, it was the height of my career. One of the things I always talk about outside of this.
Let's talk more about. I want to talk about the position because. I got stuck inside a little bit at a much lower level than you, but, that was a defense that basically they wanted to double every guy across the line. There were 4 guys that demanded a double team. And,
pretty much.
If they didn't double Derek or they didn't double Marlon or didn't double Coe, and they didn't double you, then you can't double everybody. You didn't have to blitz very much.
It made it easy to play. Nobody was lacking in getting to eat every game. So, and just having those people around you again, like Derek and Marlon, being that good of players, you can't double everyone.
That team developed as you went through the season. You got the 2 losses early, but by the end of the year, there were not, I don't think any teams better defensively, and not a whole lot of teams better offensively than that team. Talk about how teams do develop in that kind of situation, because you were so much better by November than you were in early October, late September.
Well, speaking specifically for that team, I think we played Clemson the first game, and they ended up being in the playoffs. So that's a pretty big game to have at the beginning. And then we lost to LSU in Death Valley. So what do you say about those 2 games? Any given Saturday.
When you watch this year's defense, and specifically a guy like Marcus Harris in the middle, what do you see? Because this is a defense kind of like you guys. They've been getting better each week of this season.
I love watching Marcus Harris. Just always in the backfield and making big plays. Especially a player playing on the inside. Plus, he's a smaller guy, so to dominate at that size is amazing.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys who's developed. Go ahead.
Yeah.
For a defensive lineman, a lot of guys like to play in a 4-3. Some guys like to play in a 34 defense. What's the biggest difference for a D lineman?
Well, I think in that 4-3 defense, you get the opportunity to attack more and really fire off the ball, and you're not thinking as much. But whenever you move into that 3-4 defense and you're having a 2 gap, it kind of changes the mentality of how you play in the position. So that's really the main difference. It just depends on, if your body's made for it or not.
Did you have a preference?
I liked when we moved into the 3-4 just because I didn't have to be in what we call the grease, I guess you would say, down by the nose. So I love playing more outside towards the tackles.
You didn't have to be the guy at the bottom, man.
I don't want to be that guy.
Down by the grease. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
You really have to use that one.
I like that.
Yeah, write that one down, Jason. You work that into
Down
the
by
game.
the grease.
Down by the grease. Talk about playing that kind of schedule, and you referenced it. You played Clemson, LSU in Death Valley, Georgia when they were ranked number 1, knock them off. Alabama's ranked number 1, knock them off. How did playing that kind of schedule prepare you for moving into the NFL?
But a lot of the guys that move into the NFL come from those top caliber schools, you know what I mean? So playing guys at Clemson, you're going to be playing the best guys in the country. When you go to Georgia, you're going to be playing the best guys in the country. So there's not that intimidation factor as far as walking to the league. You're still going to be unprepared, as every rookie's probably going to be, but still, you feel a little bit more confident walking into that.
You have some family here today, Don Davis?
Oh, yeah, my wife and son right over there.
There we go.
There they are.
All right. Where is home for you now?
We moved back to Kelton. Yeah, my wife's actually a nurse now in Kelton down at the hospital. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yes.
That's a nice high school football stadium y'all got.
Oh, yeah, it looks like a college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Carrollton plays pretty high-level ball. I live in Noonan, so I know what goes on.
Oh, yeah,
there.
you're pretty familiar, yeah.
It is. Well, Dontavius, thank you for taking time to be with us. We really appreciate you being with us. And
yes, sir.
We hope we'll see you down here a little more. It's not that bad a drive.
It's not at all. Thank y'all for having me.
War Eagle. Right, thank you. War Eagle to you. Dontavius Russell, outstanding nose tackle for the Auburn Tigers. Hey, the Auburn Tigers put their trust in Auburn AV. So every home game is for the best experience, and so should you. Bring the football game day experience home when you have Auburn AV design and install your home entertainment system. As the preferred audiovisual provider of Auburn Athletics, Auburn AV has what you need. Learn more at auburnav.com. And stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
What does commitment sound like? At Alabama Power, we hear you, we see you, and celebrate you on long practice days, game days that bring us together, and every day in between. Your commitment to making an impact for the team, for the fans. That inspires us to be at our best for the communities we champion across the state. We're committed to this kind of energy. That's power for a better Alabama. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Auburn Tigers.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Auburn Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Tackle your to-do list this season and find the right Aetna Medicare plan for you in your home state of Alabama. With Aetna Medicare Advantage plans, you can get a $0 monthly plan premium with hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage. Plans also include dental, vision, and an over-the-counter benefit. Be the star quarterback of your health. Call us for a personalized coverage review now. 1-833-771-7542. TTY 711. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. RSNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
At Austal USA, we're building ships that protect and defend our nation. Building innovative ships requires innovative people. We're looking for Tiger fans to join the build. We offer 4 10-hour-day work schedules for our production employees, comprehensive benefits, and individualized training programs that make our dynamic workforce even stronger. Visit austaljobs.com to apply today and build a strong future. Austal USA, innovative on land, exceptional at sea.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Allen back with you, checking the Yellowwood scoreboard. Some interesting games in the early wave today. Michigan at Maryland, down in Maryland, and the Terps are making a game of it after falling way behind early there midway in the third quarter, and Maryland's cut the margin to a touchdown. It's Michigan leading 23-17 with 9 minutes to go in the third. Alabama rolling over Chattanooga 52-10. That one is at the end of the third quarter in Tuscaloosa. A wild one down in Miami. Louisville has come from behind to take the lead. They lead Miami 23-21 midway through the third quarter in that one. Rutgers giving Penn State all they can handle. 13-6, the Nittany Lions lead it there, getting ready to go to the fourth quarter in Happy Valley. Ole Miss continues to roll over University of Louisiana Monroe. It's 28-3 as they start the fourth quarter, about 2 minutes in that one. Well, BYU playing in Provo and tied with number 14 Oklahoma. That one's 17-17 midway through the third. One to keep an eye on there as the Big 12 rolls down toward the finale. Tulane, ranked number 24, leading FAU 24-0. They are early in the fourth quarter there. Army bouncing back from their loss the other day, 28-14. They lead Coastal Carolina. It is Indiana, Michigan State all locked up at 14 all. Mississippi State rolling over Southern Miss, 23-7. Northwestern with their new coach David Braun, 16-7 leader over Purdue as they go to the fourth quarter. And Texas A&M over Abilene Christian, lackluster game, 24-7 as they go to the fourth quarter in that one. That's a Yellowwood scoreboard. Scoreboard Update, and this is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Eagle 102.3 is your East Alabama and Midwest Georgia's country music leader, playing the top hits from the hottest artists. Download our Eagle 102.3 app so you can listen to us whenever and wherever. Listen to your favorite country artists, stay up to date on your favorite college football team,
War Eagle,
and catch our local high school football broadcasts, all from our app. Available on Apple and the Google Play Store. For more information, visit our website, eagle1023.com, or find our link tree on Instagram at WELR Eagle.
What does commitment sound like? At Alabama Power, we hear you, we see you, and celebrate you on long practice days, game days that bring us together, and every day in between. Your commitment to making an impact for the team, for the fans. That inspires us to be at our best for the communities we champion across the state. We're committed to this kind of energy. That's power for a better Alabama. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Auburn Tigers.
War Eagle, it's a great day for Auburn Tigers to get vaccinated. Many children and adults that delayed vaccinations during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It's crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Children and teens can still catch up on their vaccinations even if they start late. Make sure you and your family are all up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19 and flu. Let's all do our part to get back on track. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
Hey Auburn fans, it's Coach Hugh Freeze. Care teams at Ascension St. Vincent's care for the whole person. They know healthy lifestyles help prevent chronic illnesses, and cultivating a healthy lifestyle starts early. That's why we're partnering with them to sack obesity. For every Auburn sack, a donation is made to the Ascension St. Vincent Foundation to purchase PE equipment for schools around the state. Join Jill and me by making a donation to sack childhood obesity. Visit stvhsfoundation.org. War Eagle.
Welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show outside Jordan-Hare Stadium. About an hour and a half from kickoff between Auburn and New Mexico State. Welcome in Walt McFadden to the stage here at the Tailgate Show. Walt, War Eagle.
War Eagle, thank you for having me.
Man, I saw you chopping it up there with Will Herring and then Jason Campbell. What's it
My
like
little
seeing?
brother.
Yeah, what's
man,
it like seeing
it was
these
great
guys?
seeing those guys, man.
Yeah.
I haven't been here in a while, so it was just fun catching up.
So Walt and I, we overlapped. Walt came in my last 2 years, so
Yeah.
he was like, I was a safety at the time. He was a corner, so he was like my little brother,
Big brother. Yeah,
And
definitely.
so, I just, him, and we were talking about Gerard Powers, Aaron Savage, but Walt was a guy that came in and just very athletic. You saw the potential, but came from a high school where they didn't have the program or the competition that some of the schools had to offer. But Walt, his potential, and he put in the work. And then I went off to play in Seattle, and I'm keeping up. Next thing you know, this young buck that I don't remember even knowing what the difference between cover 2 and cover 3. Now all of a sudden he's showing up on every other highlight, and had a great NFL career. Played 4 years.
Yep.
And man, awesome job. It's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. Will, I remember actually seeing Will in the NFL at Seattle. I was like, Will.
Yeah.
He was like, you did it. So it was just a great experience to kind of have one of the guys that we looked up to was a leader in our locker room, to kind of look back and see his past and see that some of the fruit that he passed on had an opportunity.
Well, you guys on the defensive side of the ball, look, Auburn's got the reputation for running back you, right? And rightfully so. But if you look the last 10, 15 years, I think you can start making a case for DBU. I mean, you guys have put a lot of guys in the NFL.
I argue with Brian McFadden and Patrick Peterson on a weekly in text that LSU, Florida State has nothing on us at Auburn at DBU. We're putting DBs out every year. So it's just a continue argument in the text message thread.
All right, well, I got to ask you about Patrick Peterson. You told me that he's actually your cousin. Well, what's that conversation like week in, week out during football season, especially during the Auburn-LSU game?
It's interesting.
Yeah?
It's a lot of arguing. We argue about who is the fastest, who's the best, who's the tallest, who's the strongest.
Of course.
They have a podcast called All Things Covered, so It's kind of like a DB covering everything. And, some of the topics that they bring up, they'll text me, and, we argue about those topics, and they'll see if if we're arguing, it's going to look great on the podcast. So those conversations get very interesting.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson, just an unbelievable specimen watching him. Pretty cool. I didn't know you were related to the guy, but the NFL locker room is bragging rights means so much, and just coming from an SEC program like Auburn, where you're in a locker room with guys from Alabama and LSU, Georgia.
Right.
I mean, that's what makes it fun. It's cutting up and trash talking a little bit. And sometimes even if you're on the short end of the stick with the argument, you just got to own it.
Yeah.
You just got to own it and don't back down.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's go back down memory lane and go back to that 2009 Outback Bowl against Northwestern. You had that 100-yard pick six to the house in a wild game, and that was a game I was actually at as a fan, and it took Auburn 2 or 3 times in overtime to actually come out with the official game. What do you remember about that play in that particular game?
It was just a play that I was guarding their best wide receiver, and we ran that play a couple times in practice where they like to run the post corner. And I knew that he had better leverage. So what I tried to do is stay close, and what I remember is just using my height, because he was a shorter receiver, to kind of knock that ball up in the air, and eventually it fell in my hands.
And then in that game, too, I love that year because that set up the big year in 2010.
Don't do that to me.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you, how much pride do you take in? How much pride did you guys take in? Because going through a coaching change, that's what these guys are going through right now.
Yes.
And there's a lot of similarities there.
Yes, and I hope it's the same fruit for next year for us at Auburn. Just like Will passed down to us, we was able to have a strong junior class.
Yeah.
That senior class where we was a small senior class, probably about 17 of us, probably 25 of us came in, but 17 was still here. And we was, going through the learning of Gene Chizik. And we had to put that program on notice, and we started off hot, 5 games, I believe, undefeated, and we kind of ran a few roadblocks. But we had to go through those learning pains, and our junior class got really strong to learn from that. And then, as you can see, we was one piece away. If Cam would have just came 1 year before.
You need to let him know that next time you see him.
1 year before, maybe we had, those 2 or 3 games that we lost would have been, winnable games.
Yeah, unbelievable just watching you guys from a distance, being in Seattle, and just watching this program. You talked about new coaching staff and having to establish a new culture. And Coach Chiz got here, and a couple years later we won it all. And I think you were a rookie at that year, but just unbelievable. And watching these guys here this year progress and what they've done in the last 3-4 weeks, they went through a gauntlet there where they were playing some really good teams in some hostile environments.
Right.
But talk about just what you've seen with this Auburn football team this year, and particularly then elaborate a little bit on the defensive backfield.
I see a lot of similarities during my 2009. The guys are learning each other, relearning the program, relearning the Auburn way, setting that foundation for the years to come. So what I see this year, you don't see the pouting, you don't see that we're sad. You see more motivation, like, oh, we right there. We few plays away. We're a few mistakes or penalties away. I see a great team that's learning, getting disciplined, and getting ready to take strides week in, week out.
And for you guys, though, especially you older guys that still communicate with the football program and see these players, what's some of the advice to players and also the fan base to keep in mind during the first year of a coaching change as you transition to establish that culture?
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience. That's the biggest thing. The War Eagle fan base we got a lot of pride.
We do.
And we want to win and win out no matter what, who's what, where. But the biggest thing is patience. Look at all the games, and you could go back and say we are probably about 4 or 5 plays away.
Right.
And if you think about it, looking at it that way, hey, we're going in the right direction. So just have patience, and we'll be there.
Rick talked about it earlier, another guest we had. He's our PA announcer, and he was just talking about just in that profession, you never know who's listening or who's watching. Yeah. Right. It's the same thing with these guys. Every time they go out there and step between the white lines, it's an audition. They're putting it on tape. And so, yeah, I mean, you if you get discouraged and it affects your play to the point, to where you're not able to play with that passion that's required, then you're shooting yourself in the foot if you want to go and play. And all these guys, they have dreams and aspirations, going to play at the next level. And so these guys have got to, and I think they've done a better job of approaching this like a business And today's another day in the office, and they need to go out and handle business against, on paper, an inferior opponent. But don't sleep on them. They're 8-3. They're playing well, and so we got to show up. We got to play.
Right, exactly.
See some similarities between you and Jalen Simpson. He has 4 picks this year. You had 4 picks in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's that do for you when you see guys coming behind you?
It's confidence.
Yeah.
You start, I guess for me, I started gambling a little too much. I needed a Will Henry. Actually, I had Zach back there, but and Zach was great to kind of calm me down. But I think, me and Zach, he was a younger brother at that time. So I was like, Zach, listen to me.
Calculated risk,
yes,
not gambling. Calculated risk.
Calculated, yes.
Read.
Yeah, so once I started getting more and more, I was like, he's looking. Don't take that chance. And then, I would probably give Zach a few ways. Hey, get deep. Just you never know what I might do on this play.
Take a chance.
So, but no, it's definitely a confidence booster for us.
Walt, it's been great to have you on here today. Heard you telling Jason, y'all were talking about the golf swing a little bit. Tell everybody what you're up to these days.
Man, I'm in Houston. Me and my family, we're doing very well down there, and we're just having fun and still cheering for our Auburn Tigers wherever we are.
Yeah.
And we're just enjoying it.
And then for you coming back, what's it like to come back on campus to a place that means so much?
Man, it was already beautiful when I was here.
Yeah.
Look at what you got buildings. We don't have the
dining hall,
the dining hall no more. It's a whole
That's
new.
right.
If I had these facilities, I probably would still be here. Like, I won't leave.
There you go.
Well, Walt, thanks so much for joining us today, man, and hope you enjoy your visit to the Plains here today, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
That
see you, bud.
Walt McFadden, joined by myself and Will Herring, and now we'll get to the pregame medical report brought to you by East Alabama Health. Their team of first responders are proud to provide first aid care at today's game and at every Auburn athletic event. For the Tigers today, only center Avery Jones. He's on the up and up trying to come back. Overall, though, for the Tigers, looking pretty healthy today against New Mexico State. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Saturdays in the South mean football and outdoor projects. And when it comes to outdoor projects, nothing beats quality John Deere equipment from a team you can depend on. That's why we trust Sun South, where owning the best equipment made is easy and affordable, whether you're working on your lawn, camp, farm, job site, or even ball field. For all your outdoor equipment needs, visit Sun South with 21 convenient locations or shop online at sunsouth.com. Sun South, equipment for those that do. Sun South is the preferred tractor dealer of the Auburn Tigers.
How Far Do They Drive is presented by your local Toyota dealer. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Last week at Arkansas, Auburn got the ball first and delivered a punishing message to the homestanding Razorbacks. Peyton Thorne rushed for 8 yards on the first play of the game. The quarterback paid off the game's opening drive.
From the right hash, Thorne off the right side to the 10, to the 5, Thorne to the end zone. Touchdown, Peyton Thorne, 12 yards, and a score for Auburn. And for the third straight game, Auburn into the end zone on its opening drive.
The opening drive of the game covered 75 yards in just 6 plays, and it sent a message that the Tigers would repeat throughout the game. Thorne finished with 250 yards of total offense and 4 total touchdowns. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Children's of Alabama reminds you that every child's head injury should be treated like a serious injury until a doctor says it's not. In fact, the CDC estimates some 4 million sports and recreation-related concussions occur each year. Even a minor fall or collision may be a concern. Symptoms typically include headaches, unsteadiness, confusion, or sleepiness. To find out what to do in case of a suspected concussion, visit childrensal.org/concussion and always dial 911 in case of an emergency.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
2-minute drill here on the Tiger Tailgate Show, joined by Will Herring. Will, you gave us a little preview earlier of what Thanksgiving would be like with the Herrings, and I say that when Rick Smith was on here. Right. You were saying you were going to give your best Rick Smith impersonation because we got a family football game happening on Thanksgiving. So walk me through it. Who's playing? What are the rules? What's happening if I show up?
We got a gaggle of youngins at my then parents' house, now my brother's house, because they live on the 40 acres, the 50 acres I grew up on, and we've got a tag/tackle. It turns into tackle football game going on in the front yard. But no, we love to hype it up, and we love the introduction. And I was just telling is it Rick? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rick Smith. Yep.
I was telling Rick I'm coming for him because I got a pretty good background phone that plays Eye of the Tiger, and introducing the nieces and nephews as they run out of the front door onto the field.
How many kids do we have on each team,
4,
give or take?
Well, we've got 4. I've got 4. That my brother's got 4. My sister's got 3. So you're looking at about 11.
As you and your brother, are y'all quarterbacks of each team? What's the quarterback
usually
situation?
one of the dads picks up a quarterback on either team, and just rock and roll from there.
All right, so winning team, do you get to eat first? Don't have to clean up, do the dishes? We got
it's
nothing.
More just bragging rights.
Just more, and that's all that matters in family
if
time.
If you make it through without anybody bleeding or crying or broken bones, it's a win.
All right, quickly, what are you looking forward to the most this Thanksgiving? What are you looking forward to on the spread? How about that?
I love Thanksgiving. Like, I'm a Christmas guy. Like, our Christmas tree's already up, and I can't, like, the Christmas season, the movies, everything. I love Christmas. Thanksgiving, though, like, I love how it's just family, it's food, and there's not like a mess to clean up at the end of the day. Well, there is in terms of the food, but
Get
not
your
all the
game day
presents.
started with the Auburn Sports Network and the
Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Presented by Conecuh Sausage. Paul Ellen, Brad Law, Andy Burcham, Ronnie Brown, Will Herring, and Jason Campbell bring the tailgate party to you. Breakdowns of the games from every angle, visits from former Tiger greats, and updates from around campus 3 hours before kickoff of every Auburn game. It's the biggest tailgate party on the radio. The Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Hey parents and kids, it's a perfect time for students to read their way to the Iron Bowl in AEA's Be a Champion and Read contest.
AEA wants to help K through 6th grade students to be academic champions, just like the Auburn Tigers.
Students who participate in the Be a Champion and Read challenge could win 3 tickets to the Iron Bowl and a chance to take the field on game day. Ask your teacher about contest rules.
Encourage your child to be an AEA champion reader and win a trip to the Iron Bowl.
Hey Auburn fans, it's time to stretch those legs and reach for another bag of Golden Flake. Home or away, with family or friends, you know no game day is complete without your favorite snack. So enjoy Golden Flake or any of our other delicious snacks from the Utz family of brands and sit back for the rest of the game. Golden Flake in Auburn football, a winning team. Simple Southern goodness, Golden Flake. Celebrating 66 years as the official salty snack of the Auburn Tigers.
We always picture the SEC student athlete for their speed, their vertical, their agility, but it's time we picture them for more. For their campus voice, their community outreach, and for the simple fact that 20 years later, they're still someone's pride and joy. More than students, more than athletes. In the SEC, it just means more.
Back outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium, getting ready for Auburn and New Mexico State. Here to talk a little matchups with former Tiger Will Herring, Will War Eagle. This is a sandwich game, if you will. You and Paul talked about it a few moments ago in a 2-minute drill. What are some things to keep in mind today with this matchup being tucked in between and 2 SEC games at Arkansas and then the big one against Alabama next week?
Yeah, I'm so proud of the way our guys have progressed the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we're becoming a much better ball team. We're not good enough to look forward to the next opponent right now. We've got to show up and handle business, and the maturity of our team is going to be shown today, in how we handle the game today. But I just love the progression of our of offense and defense. But let's talk about the defense for a second, particularly the defensive line. What Jalen McLeod has been able to do now that he's put together 4 or 5 weeks of staying healthy and getting in that game shape and getting in rhythm. It's just been unbelievable to watch him progress. And then the young buck, Keldrick Falk, on the other side. You just see that just tremendous potential, but he's just coming along. So I'm excited to see him continue to develop. Elijah McAllister, an instant impact or contributor, captain on the defense. He's been so vital, I think, in just helping these young guys and the front four come along. Obviously, we knew going into the season that our secondary was going to be our strong suit on defense, and then with Eugene and the way he's played, and now we've got Austin Keys back at the linebacking core. I'm just excited about how we've progressed and watching these inexperienced guys here at Auburn, like Keldrick, like Jalen, come along.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've had a lot of guys on this Auburn defense that's really stepped up. Asante has stepped up. Jalen stepped up. It's been a lot of different guys. You start to see this defense, though, down the stretch, though, Will, starting to hit their stride at the right time. How important is that going into a matchup like this against a quarterback who's very mobile? Last week, Auburn faced a bruiser in the quarterback at Arkansas. Today, for New Mexico State, Diego Pavia, he's a very good runner, and he can move. Auburn's got to contain him.
He is, and going into last week in Arkansas, I was concerned about the legs of the quarterback, and now he's more of a big, bruising runner. But we smother them on defense. And Arkansas, their record on paper doesn't look great, but we talked about it earlier. They have played some really tight games against good teams like Alabama and Ole Miss. And I believe LSU, they took them to the wire. So, we showed up last week. And so it was very encouraging, and I think it's a great confidence builder. But I mean, good grief, our quarterback right now is playing with a tremendous amount of confidence. Our running game is getting stronger and stronger, and so these guys, Jarquez, to see him now playing like Jarquez now that he's getting in shape after a slow first few games, very encouraging.
Yeah, he's averaging 207 rushing yards per game, third in the SEC, and the emergence of Jarquez also coming at the right time. And Auburn's facing in this matchup today a defense that's pretty good at stopping the run. They're only allowing 149 yards per game. Offense averages 226. And what's Auburn going to have to look out for today against these defensive leaders such as Keyshawn Elliott and company for New Mexico State?
I think it's just having a balanced running and passing attack. The RPO system is, if you cannot run the ball and make them load the box to stop the run, then the RPO is not going to be as effective. Peyton has done a really good job of. I love his eyes in the RPO. He does a great job of truly reading it. A lot of guys, you see them take their eyes from that defensive end position, from the defensive end, and they go to the running back. But the chemistry is starting to come along, so you're not having to take your eyes off of downfield. And Peyton's just done a lot better job of with the RPO.
Well, for Peyton, with Jarquez Hunter, with him emerging as of late, his job has gotten easier in terms of it opening up the run for him and also opening up the passing game. What did you see last week from Arkansas where that happened, and how can Auburn build on that today and make it happen again at home here in Jordan-Hare?
Yeah, I think it's just playing responsibility football. Like if you're one of the front five guys, centers, guards, tackles. What's my assignment? Playing assignment ball. There's no doubt that when we line up against a New Mexico State, man for man, we ought to impose our will on them, and we ought to be able to get movement, and we ought to be able to run the football. I love what running the football does for our outside guys as well, and the Rivaldo Fairweathers of our receiving core and tight end core. And so just being able to run the football, making them respect the run so that we can then distribute it to the weapons down the field. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah, we had John Samuel Shanker on the air earlier. Fairweather needs just 3 catches to tie John Samuel Shanker's record for catches by tight end with 33. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. This Auburn defense has forced a turnover, Will, in 19 straight games. That's the second longest streak in the nation behind Toledo, who has 21. We talk about this defensive emergence. Forcing turnovers can become contagious for a defense, and Auburn has caught the turnover bug as of late.
It can, and our secondary, I don't know that I can remember a secondary that when their hands get on the ball or when a ball gets batted up, we just seem to be around the football. When we get our hands on the ball, there's not a lot of dropped or missed opportunities, drop picks, and our guys capitalize. It's incredible to, many times you see guys on the defensive side of the ball, like it's almost like, God, they could have just made that catch. Like the moment was just a little too big for them. But our guys, on the back end, they seem to just make the play, and they're gamers. And I love what they've done in terms of stringing together this many games with at least one turnover. It's unbelievable.
We talk about QB Diego Pavia and his ability to run, but let's go to the passing game real quick. They're going to look to go downfield, look to make a lot of big plays. They average 14.6 yards per completion. That's 9th in the country. And they have 23 plays of 25-plus passing yards this season. So for Auburn's defense, Will, today, the scout, what is Auburn looking to do against this balanced offense that they'll see against New Mexico State?
Yeah, I wish my man Walt McFadden could speak to this. He was a corner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's man on man. When you go man to man, whether it's DJ or Nehemiah or Kalen Lee, whoever it is, when you decide you're going to load the box and lean on your secondary and go man free, these guys have got to win the one-on-ones, and they've got to stand up to the challenge. And honestly, I love hearing that, because that's the strength of our team as well, is our guys on the outside, our cornerback position, and then our safety position. Zach has done a great job with these guys. Just watching them progress this year has been just very, very encouraging.
And now for Auburn's defensive front, they're going to face, again, a pretty good rushing team as well. They have run for 170 yards or more in 14 straight games. They've run for 200 yards in 3 of the last 4 games. So, again, coming in with a good, honest, balanced attack. But Auburn's defensive line, if they get going today, Will, they're going to be important, because that could be the difference in the ball game.
That's right. And watching Marcus Harris continue to just show up, a guy that's now a senior, and he's the heartbeat on that interior defensive line. Then Jason Jones, just a mountain of a man. But our front 4 defensive linemen, and then how our linebackers has progressed the last 4 weeks has just been, or last 3 weeks has been awesome to watch. And they've stepped up to the challenge. They did it last week, and I expect them to do it again today.
Won 3 in a row, won a big one on the road 2 weeks in a row. Vanderbilt and Arkansas for this Tiger team. Again, building momentum on the back half of the season. Bowl eligible, that's important. You can add to that resume today, Will. How do you like this Auburn team and how they've grown? And they didn't give up when times got hard this season.
I love it. Look back a month ago, and there were a lot of naysayers. And a team can very, very easily fold and go in the tank and start doubting the direction of the coaching staff, the talent of the man next to them, and honestly, they can show a lack of confidence in themselves. But our team has been resilient. They've stayed the course, and they've gotten a lot better.
Will, thanks so much. Have a great call today on the sideline, man. War Eagle.
Thank you, Britt.
That's going to do it for the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage. Thanks to our guests, Rick Smith, Walt McFadden, John Samuel Shanker, Dontavius Russell. Now stay tuned for our Outdoor Alabama Countdown to Kickoff, featuring more matchup analysis, the SEC report, starting lineups, interviews with Hugh Freeze, coordinators and players, and more ahead of today's game against New Mexico State. Still have one more 2-minute drill. We'll check scores, and we do thank you for listening to the Tiger Tailgate Show.
Conecuh Sausage is a fan favorite for tailgating, always great on the grill, and it's the official sausage dog and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork, their patented blend of seasonings, and smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true Southern flavor. Be sure to visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama, right off I-65 at exit 96. Enjoy a crowd-pleasing Conecuh Sausage dog while watching the Tigers and make Conecuh part of your game day. Conecuh Sausage, since 1947, a real winner.
Thinking of medical school? Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine in Auburn has award-winning medical education and research programs. VCOM partners with Auburn University for student activities, research, and sports medicine physicians to care for Tiger athletes. VCOM is providing tomorrow's physicians for Auburn and the surrounding communities. Find out more at vcom.edu. That's vcom.edu.
How are you the ultimate Auburn fan? Because I got this air horn installed in my throat. Pretty sick, right? Yes, you look really sick. What doctor would even do this? Doctor? I did this myself. I mean, I can't swallow whole food, but still. Wait, what? Just gotta plow through it. Hey, can I get a couple of soups up here? What about some chamomile tea? Don't be that guy. Get a fan card. The smart way to be the ultimate Tigers fan. Just go to auburncards.com.
Things we take for granted, ordinary opportunities for parents and their children, can be a foster child's extraordinary. You have the power to do something positive that will change the life of a young person right here in Alabama. Open your heart and open your home to a foster child today. For more information, visit www.dhr.alabama.gov or call 1-866-64-AL-KIDS. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Final 2-minute drill outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium, checking the Yellowwood scoreboard for Michigan. They're in a tight one against Maryland, 29-4 up. With 6 minutes left to go in the third. Again, Michigan without Jim Harbaugh, 10-0, trying to make it to the college football playoff. And then in Tuscaloosa, number 8 Alabama steamrolling Chattanooga, 59-10, 6:15 left to go in that one. And a good one down in Coral Gables in Miami. The Hurricanes lead number 10 Louisville 28-23, 14 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And in State College, number 12 Penn State starting to pull away late over Rutgers 20-6, 7:45 to play in State College. And then in Oxford, Ole Miss up comfortably at the end of the game, 35-3. That one actually just went final, and for Ole Miss, they'll roll into the Egg Bowl 9-2 on Thanksgiving Day. And then have a great one out at BYU, hosting number 14 Oklahoma. That one's tied 24-all, 12:20 to go in regulation. Stay tuned into that one, as that'll be a fun finish there. And then number 24 Tulane on the road at Florida Atlantic. Tulane, top 25, number 24 in the country, 9-1, undefeated in their conference, up 24-8 over Florida Atlantic. And then Army trying to hang on late against Coastal Carolina. This would be the upset of the day. Army up 28-21 with 51 seconds left. Michigan State up 17-14 on the road at Indiana, 9:26 to go there. Indiana still some time to get some work done. And then Mississippi State in an in-state battle with Southern Miss. They got a win today and next week in the Egg Bowl. They're up 26-20 over Southern Miss with 7:42 to play in regulation. And out in College Station, the Aggies without Jimbo for the first weekend. They're cruising 31-10 over Abilene Christian with 5:25 to play. And then Northwestern up 23-15 over Purdue.
Fine
the Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
2298, Auburn's newest fine dining restaurant and butcher shop. Chef Randall Baldwin and wife Laura present Gulf cuisine with a southern flair, made fresh farm to table. Seasonal